This will be an overview video for QuoteSoft by ConstructConnect duct estimating program. Let's get started by clicking the Job File button. Within the job file, from left to right, we have three windows we will focus on: Folder List, Job List, and Zone List. The last job used will always be highlighted. To get started, let's create a new folder. Click the New Folder button. Put in a folder name, such as the month and the year. Click Create Folder at the bottom to have the folder created for you. Automatically selected after creation, we'll create a job inside this folder next. To create that job, we will click on the New Job button. Type in a name for the job. QuoteSoft Training Offices. The rest of the information is optional, not required to fill out unless you want to. Click Create Job. In the lower left, you'll see we have the Job Attachments window. This is where you pull in your plan files. I have a plan file on my desktop. I'm going to minimize the program, right-click the plan file, copy, bring the program back up, and paste inside of Attachments. Now I have the plan file inside the job folder and ready to create my first zone. Click the New Zone button in the Zone List window, select the plan file out of the drop-down menu, and click Create Zone to load takeoff. Once takeoff loads, you'll be required to set your scale. To do this, use your mouse wheel and roll up so that you can zoom in on the plan file. Click the Set Scale button, click a doorway or any given length. Click the beginning, click the end, and type in the number of inches that represents. Click OK, and you'll see that your scale gets set for you. Now we'll start with takeoff. Holding down on the middle mouse button will allow you to pan and move the plan file. We'll start with fan coil unit number 1. In the bookmarks, I'm going to select horizontal fan coil units. I will now select the CFM that I desire, 1000 CFM, and come over to the scope info field and fill in the tag for the unit and also the system I wish to color it. FCU1 and supply. Now put my mouse over the plan file and click where I desire to have that icon appear. Next up, I'll grab the flex connection on the supply side, which is 18 by 12. After selecting the flex connection, click on the 18 and then the 12 in the entry palette, and you'll see the dimensions are entered for you. Go ahead and put my mouse on the plan file where that item lives. Click the first point and move my mouse away, and you can see we're going to auto scale ductwork. So I'm going to select the next fitting, which is going to be an elbow. Select the elbow. The 18 by 12 dimensions are carried forward for me. Go ahead and place it where I desire to have it. Run out, and now I need 14-10 transition. Select the two-way transition, put in 14 and 10. Go ahead and select where I want it to be on the plan file. Next up, end cap, and that will end our rectangular duct run. Now we will take off the register runouts. First off, we'll go ahead and start with the snap block pipe. Down in the bookmarks, I'm going to select snap block pipe, put in the 10-inch diameter that is needed. Go ahead and select the beginning and the end, and it'll automatically fill in the pipe and jump to a standard length if I'm close enough to it. On these short ones, it's just going to put in a couple of feet for me. Next, we need the register connections. For that, I'm going to use assemblies. I'm going to go ahead and open up the supply side and grab the 10-inch supply connection. To see what's in that assembly, simply scroll down in your item details, and you'll see that that's going to be the high efficiency takeoff, volume damper, flex, adjustable elbow, and then the 3-cone diffuser. All 5 of these items will be placed with one click of the mouse. So when I click on the plan file, you'll see that it puts one entry into the audit trail, which is a 10-inch supply connection. Click, click, and click. And I've taken off all the items needed. Next, we'll jump over to the return side. So we have a 34 by 16 canvas connection. select the flex, put in the 34 by 16, come over and flip the system to be return. Go ahead and select the location of where this item lives on the plan file. Next up, the end cap. Go ahead and place the end cap. We have an 18 by 14 angle tap in coming off the side that ends with an end cap. Angle tap in, 18, 14, click to place it, grab your end cap, put it at the end. This run is too short for pipe, so all I need is a 14-inch return assembly. Expand the return, click on 14-inch, and place it on the plan file. And that will take care of all of fan coil unit 1. Next, we will look at taking off fan coil unit number 2. Go ahead and zoom out, pan down, and we can see that fan coil unit 2 is an exact clone of fan coil unit 1. What's the quick way to do that? Go ahead and click and drag using the left mouse button until you have all the items selected. Right click anywhere on the green box and choose copy. Move your mouse up, right click at the top left corner of the selection box and paste. And when you paste, all of those items will be pasted in. You can then take and move them so that they are aligned as close as you need them to be for this new system. Right click and let's use the global edit to go ahead and change the subzone to fan coil unit 2. When you hit save changes, everything will get updated. To validate this, we'll scroll over and look in our audit trail. Looking at the audit trail down at the bottom, select the scroll bar, move it to the right until we get to subzone, and we can see fan coil unit 2 is on those items. Select one of them and it'll highlight it on your plan file for you. Next up, let's quickly repeat that and do the same thing for fan coil unit 3. As we scroll out and pan up, we can see it's another clone. Go ahead and select, right click, copy, right click and use the shortcut, which is paste and global edit. We're already going to global edit after we paste, so let's just go ahead and use that shortcut to jump into it. Fan coil unit 3, save changes. I'd like to organize the items on the return side a little bit, so I'm just going to left click and drag. It'll only select those items, and now I can move them down so they align a little bit better for my liking. With that, we've taken off those 3 fan coil units really quickly. Other changes that can be made after takeoff is done is applying different components such as liner and wrap. As you can see, there is a liner column in my audit trail, and if I scroll up or down, you can see there are no items with liner, no items with wrap. I'd actually like to use the global edit and apply liner to all of the rectangular items and wrap to all of the snap lock items and the accessories. So let's go ahead and select everything on the plan file with a left click of the mouse and drag so that we get everything inside the box. Now we can right click this box anywhere, or we can come over to the audit trail and click global edit. It's the same thing. When the global edit window comes up, go ahead and click on the rectangular tab. Hit the drop down menu for liner and select the liner that you want to turn on for all of your rectangular items. Let's choose 1-inch liner. Go to the catalog tab, come down and click on the wrap drop down menu, and we'll choose 1.5-inch wrap. Now go ahead and hit save changes. At this point, the program is going to run through and recalculate all the items and apply liner to the rectangular items and wrap to all of the catalog items that it can. You'll then be presented with the changes saved pop-up to let you know that it's done. Go ahead and hit OK, and scrolling through to your audit trail, you can see that the rectangular items have liner on them and the catalog items have wrap on them. In order to validate it looking at the plan file, simply use your mouse wheel and roll up so that you can zoom in, and you'll see that on the items that have liner, we have a dash line on the inside, and on items that have wrap, we have the dash line on the outside. This lets you know from a glance what sort of insulation is on those items. Next up, we'll go ahead and run some reports. Let's go ahead and go back to the job file. Go to the upper left hand side of the screen, and in the home menu there's a button pointing to the left that says Job File. Go ahead and click that to return to the job file. When we get back to the job file, we're going to click the Reports Workspace button over on the left-hand side of the screen. This will change the screen and show the reports layout for you. Here on the left-hand side, now we have the folder list, job list, and zone list stacked vertically instead of horizontally. You can see that my folder and my job and my zone are still selected for me. I'm going to jump right into the middle of the next pane, which is the Reports pane, and come down to the reporting options. I'm going to use only the selected zone and run the QuoteSoft Duct Simple Recap. Hit the Export button, it'll launch Excel and generate that report for you. The first sheet of the recap that you'll see is the QuoteSoft Bid Recap sheet, showing the total hours for fabrication, install, and other material handling, showing the total labor cost that was included, also showing the total for the QuoteSoft takeoff materials, and giving you spaces here to type in your quotes for your exhaust fans, GRDs, fire dampers, round and oval pipe and fittings that you're purchasing, and a few extra lines to type in and create pricing or quotes for any additional items. Total for the material and equipment. Do you wish to apply sales tax? You can put in your subcontractor information, scroll down, and you get your final bid price. As we jump over, we can see G&A, where you can add in information for travel pay, demolition, project management, scissor lift rentals, so on and so forth. All of that information will be carried back to the appropriate places on this sheet and added into the totals. Jump over to Job Summary, and you'll get a quick summary of everything that you had taken off, all of the rectangular items, including the runs of duct, which is 21, the total count of fittings, which is 24, and so on. The most popular tab is the Detail tab. This tab allows you to group and sort the data in any choice that you have. Right now you can see that it's being sorted by zone. So M122 is the only zone that we have, and here's a list of all of the items that were taken off. However, we've accumulated all of the like items. So for example, we took off a handful of 90-degree elbows, which were 20 by 14. Total item count was 3. So instead of seeing 3 lines with the same item on it, we accumulated it into one and just bumped up the item count. Use the controls in the upper right to dictate whether you want to remove your catalog items or have them added back in. Same thing with hiding columns like the weight and maybe the material cost. Once you've gone through and proofed this the way you want, you can obviously print it or just close and save the spreadsheet and return to the program. After the report has been closed, you can see that it's been saved in the reports and exports for this particular job. Selecting a job will show you the saved reports for that job as well. At this point, if you wanted to continue takeoff on your zone, you could just click in the Open Zone button here on this screen. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the job file. You'll then see that we have the folder list, job list, and zone list horizontally displayed for us. I'm now going to click the main menu button to return to the main menu. This concludes the overview of the QuoteSoft by ConstructConnect duct estimating program.